What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. Taking a look at a DDD combo. If you guys are new to the step-by-step combo tutorial, basically what I do is I find different combos, throughout the web, and I slow them down significantly. So I found this in a DB Grindr video, which you can find in the link in the description if you want to watch the gameplay where this came from. But when you watch Yu-Gi-Oh and you watch these commentators, when you're seeing something that it's like a deck that you don't play, when they say effective this, effective that, it's really confusing. At least like when you first look at it. So I like to make these videos to slow them down way more. Read the card text so you guys can understand kind of where the plays are coming from, and I'll try to explain some of the ways that the deck just kind of interacts with each other and some of the things to note if you want to pick up the deck for yourself. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Pretty interesting because you do like this is like a 3.5 card combo. In DDDs, it's weird to say like almost all the cards are combo pieces. So like every hand is different. I think this is the hardest deck in Yu-Gi-Oh to play personally, which is why I like to do these as much as possible. But Kepler searches Dark Contract with the gate, and since you already opened it, really this is what all it's going to do is end up being discard fodder and fusion material. So keep that in mind for later. So Dark Contract with the gate lets you add a DD monster from deck to hand. Pretty neat. And you can go ahead and add a Swirl Slime. So this card lets you fusion summon from your hand, as well as you get to banish it from the graveyard to special summon a DD monster from hand as well. Both effects you can use in the same turn as well. So the interesting thing about DD Griffin, right, it has a bunch of effects. When it's special summoned from the graveyard, when it's special summoned from the Pendulum Zone. And when I first read the card, I'm like, how are you going to give this in the graveyard? Because Pendulum monsters go to the face-up extra deck, right? But when you fusion summon from the hand, it actually does go to the graveyard, which is so super duper important. So that's going to get turned into a DDD Flame King Genghis. So you can use the secondary effect of the Swirl Slime. Basically, all the DDD fusion monsters don't have like effects. Like the one above it does. I think it negates spells and traps during your turn, which is not too bad. But all the other secondary effects of these cards, basically, if another DD monster is special summon, you get to bring back another one from the graveyard. So from the hand, we're going to go ahead and special summon a DD Savant Cope. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send a DD or Dark Contract card from deck to graveyard, which is really nice. So since a DD monster was special summoned, you can bring back the Griffin, and then Cope can go ahead and Foolish Burial. So you can go ahead and send a Necro Slime. This card lets you fusion summon by banishing materials from the graveyard, so a really good Foolish Burial there from the Cope. Bringing back the DD Griffin. So when DD Griffin is special summoned from the graveyard, it lets you add a DD card from deck to hand. Really good. And you're going to go ahead and grab an Orthros. Now this card doesn't look too good. It's like random, but the important thing is that it's a level 4 tuner, which makes it very good. Level 4 tuners are insane. So we did not normal summon yet, so we can go ahead and go into a Baron de Fleur. Pretty nice. So first Omni Negate is on the board now. Then we can go ahead and convert the DD Griffin and the Cope and go into a DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh. This card is absolutely crazy. It sets scales from the deck, so I don't really know what else you could possibly ask for because this card is just that good. Pretty nice, obviously, effect. The thing is like back in the day, like once you made this card, like DDDs couldn't do anything, which I think is really funny. But no, like you can do so much with this card now. Because back in the day, it was all about like Christian Holly Fibrax and all these other cards, but everything is just a little different now. So like I said, you get to set scales from the deck, and all you need is level 4 scales. So like Ragnarok works really well in this deck, mostly because if another DD monster is special summon, like this is the Pendulum effect, you get to bring something back, exactly like the fusions do. You do take 1,000 damage for using that effect, but okay. We get to Pendulum summon here into a couple zones, so we can bring back the DD Griffin and the Orthros. Pretty awesome, because DD Griffin, when it's Pendulum summoned, you get to pitch a card and then draw a card. In this case, I just put a blank, so Upstart Goblin. But the important part is that DD Savant Kepler is now in the graveyard because Necro Slime needs to fusion summon. You can go ahead and convert those two, since they're both pendulums, go to face up extra deck there, into a DDD Cursed King Siegfried. This is a spell and trap negate during the turn. Very cool. So you have an Omni negate, spell and trap negate at this point, and then Slime can go ahead and banish the Kepler and itself to go into another Flame King Genghis, which is going to trigger the Ragnarok. Ragnarok can go ahead and bring this back. These two can go ahead and overlay, and then you can go into a DDD Wave King Caesar. This is an interruption during your opponent's turn when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster, which is probably a lot more than you might think. You do get to negate that. pretty neat. Yeah, and it's not a once per turn either. So this card is actually pretty good. It just wasn't easy to make for all that long or for a while. But now I think people like really make sure like to center this, because when it's sent to the graveyard, I also get to search a dot contract. So what you'll see a lot of people do in DDDs is they won't leave this on the board. They'll actually like go into another Gilgamesh, and then you get to search, which probably is the right thing to do here. Although I think it's personally like a pretty decent interruption. I think it, more than anything, depends on the matchup. So what you could do is you can link summon again, and then this gets to search like the field spell, which locks you into, you know, link summoning once. Like anytime your opponent link summons are locked, like into XZ, they can only do that one. Fusion summon one time. So it's actually pretty decent. So it kind of depends on your philosophy, what you think. But really what I did, I just converted this into a Devisor King Deus Machina X. Basically, anytime your opponent activates an effect, you get to detach 2 materials, or you get to destroy a Dark Contract card and then add this to it as material. So really, really cool. So your opponent's going to activate a monster effect. They have to control it, so it doesn't have to be on the board, but it's still pretty decent, right? You get to destroy this, attach it, and then it's not a once per turn, so you get to basically grab 2 monsters, you know, from your opponent on the field, which is really good interruption. But like I said, you could have also gone down that alternative route and grabbed the field spell. But that is the combo. Pretty simple, honestly, when it comes to DDDs. But I thought it was really cool, and I really like this end board. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.